top of the morning bay with Good Morning Bay.
Get to know about the traffic on your way and what's news around the world today.
Some wisdom skills along the way.
Oh, and a song to hum along with and sway.
Get your perfect entertaining start to the day.
At 9 a.m. every weekday morning with
Mahima's
Good Morning Bay.
Good Morning Bay.
आप सभी लोगों को हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा नमस्ते.
Namaskara.
नमस्कार.
खुशामदीद.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
सत श्री अकाल.
అందరికీ వందనములు.
जय स्वामी नारायण.
जय श्री कृष्ण.
जय जिनेंद्र.
हमारे इस्माइली भाई बंधुओं को बोलते या अली मदद.
मौला अली मदद बोलते हुए सारे फीजी बंदर को बोलेंगे नीसाम्बुला बंदजान. हम आ गए हैं आपके प्यारे महिमा के द्वारा. मैं सिर्फ फालतू बाबा.
And of course, myself, फालतू रानी लेकर आपके लिए एक और ड्राइव टाइम शो. Totally exciting and totally mastani bandujani. And of course, wishing our very own Namoji a very happy wala birthday.
That's right. Namoji मतलब नरेंद्र मोदी जी को हम हमारी तरफ से एक प्यार भरा हैप्पी बर्थडे. एंड यस सर जी, आपको मालूम है हमारा उसूल होता है कि केक डेफिनेटली आप काटें और हम खाएं. आप नहीं खाए भी तो चलेगा, बिकॉज मुझे मालूम है कि आप एगलेस केक खाते हो, तो डजंट मैटर, वो भी खा लेंगे. हमें बस पार्सल कर लीजिएगा एंड यहाँ पे कॉन्सुलेट में भेज दीजिएगा. बोलिएगा कि आपके 2 बच्चे हैं यहाँ पे जो आपके बहुत बड़े फैन हैं. मतलब नॉट ब्लाइंड फैंस. ऑफ कोर्स अगर कुछ गलती हो तो हम डेफिनेटली पूछेंगे इसके बारे में.
नहीं, हम आपके बंधु हैं, फैन नहीं.
हम आपके बंधु हैं. दैट्स वेरी ट्रू फाल्तू. हम आपके बंधु. तो आपको मोदी जी, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल विश यू वेरी हैप्पी बर्थडे एंड विश यू हेल्थ, happiness and more I would say energy to serve our country.
Absolutely, sir.
And साथ में we got to say one thing, Fadwani. Definitely have to say thank you.
हाँ.
या कुछ भी हो जाए, जो भी क्या भी बोले कि whatever people say, right? Definitely he brought something to be proud of.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, हमें तो definitely it makes us feel proud to be Indian right now.
Huh.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Bhanujan, there's a lot of to and fro about, and a back and forth about political stuff. But, it takes a lot of, हमने क्या बोला था? Gumption. Gumption, mahabal. To be able to initiate and make change happen, Bhanujan. And that's one thing that has happened in this Modi ji's government. And I guess that's part of the reason why Alto and myself also feel that he is one of those change makers. There are a lot of people who talk, but he actually implemented it and made things happen. Whether it's for, it shook people up, is it for the interim, it's good or bad, it really, that remains to be seen. But at the same time, there were some major changes that he implemented. And, I've seen some of the stuff that's happening in India myself.
Oh, okay.
Some, especially the Swachh Bharat and, those kinds of things. But unfortunately now, of course, India obviously will be the highest leader. People are like, oh, COVID-19 cases, this, that. No, obviously we're the highest population.
1 highest actually. 1.2 billion folks.
Yeah.
Right? Obviously होगा ना. They'll all definitely be there. यहाँ पे 300 million के लिए सब लोग यहाँ पे literally फड़फड़ा रहे हैं यहाँ पे.
हाँ, and दूसरी चीज ये भी है कि अभी today I'll share in the news Wuhan में, right, Altu Baba? In China they probably are even suppressing the results and the numbers.
Whoa! Don't tell me that. That's not right. It's going to be giving a total different thing when you open up an economy over here.
Yeah, well, you know what? Wuhan families who have launched lawsuits against the Chinese government, apparently the Chinese government is suppressing them. And they're not letting them, they're not even giving them the due process of the law. They're not letting them go to court.
This is what will happen when you actually have a dictatorship, right?
Yeah.
Like you might say, China has got four democracies. What America is heading towards also.
China is not a democracy at
Hey,
all.
it's for democracy. They actually, like, there is election, but only happens at top level, and somebody decides who's going to be there.
Wow.
Yeah, similarly, what's happening over here in America? America already is a for democracy. It's not 100% democracy, by the way, because we actually are not electing our president. Our president elected by a select few of around 434 people. That's it. They will decide the fate of our next 4 years of our existence. But what if we are smart as people? We should exercise our franchise to vote and make sure that 434 people are the right people we vote into the offices.
Yeah.
Right? So I think the basic thing is we got to keep that in mind and approach the topic and approach the situation in a different way. Because the way things are going in America right now, we already are for democracy. For as in FAUX, as in
Exactly,
false democracy, like
Exactly.
a notion of democracy, unfortunately. But at the same time, we can actually take charge, but you got to be open eyes right away. Otherwise, we'll end up like people in Wuhan who can't fight a case against them because the government is saying no, we're not going to make you disappear.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
It can happen here also. Oh, please, you got to be mindful of that. Okay.
Yeah.
And let me tell you one thing, Marjan. There's no matter what happens, whether we have a constitutional crisis and there's going to be something happening November 3rd, please go and vote. That's all I can request you guys to do.
Well, and if you're not wanting to go out and vote, please get your mail-in ballots. Register to vote, get the mail-in ballots, and send it in now.
Yeah.
If your mail-in ballots they've already started coming. So please send in your mail-in ballots now and make sure that you're tracking your ballot, that it's being counted. There is a way to track your ballot. They did try to undermine that by scrapping that system. Did you know that?
Oh my goodness, we'll talk more about the news, Barujan. Let's go see what's happening on the roads with Araste Kahal, which we give you totally saste mein, Barujan, right here on your favorite network, Radio D Hotties.
It's time for the Bandu traffic update. Call us from wherever you are at 408-912-2479.
That's right, Barujan. 408-912-2479. Let's start with the weather. Weather looks awesome outside. The mid-60s, might be in the lower 80s, I suppose, pretty much. But what? This weather's clearing up. It's so nice to actually see clear skies right now. Mid-British में अगर आप drive करें तो please do not miss out looking towards the mountains. If you're riding and driving on 880, look towards the mountains. It looks very beautiful. In fact, ऐसा लगता है कि now you can actually see the mountains at the same time. Mountains के पीछे you have clouds, and उसके ऊपर पीछे you have the mountains, again the higher ones.
Right.
And it seems like as of those mountains are on top of the clouds.
Right.
It's beautiful view, Manajan. I think an opportunity to take a photograph, but while I take a photograph, you can just watch it and you can actually enjoy it for sure. आंखें खोल के देखिएगा ज़रूर. If you say, no, I can't see those things, I would say if you look towards even the other side, probably you'll be able to see it, other parts of the mountains as well, right?
Yeah.
Could be, this is of course towards the south and towards the north. I'm sure there's so many things so that you can watch. If you're on 280, I'm sure the weather's going to be awesome that side. Now let's see what's happening on the roads. Roads के ऊपर तो of course COVID shelter in place का ही situation है. मतलब not much of traffic over there. Schools are partially opened in some places, and we're keeping our fingers crossed. There's no incidents, and actually continues the way, and our children actually get the opportunity to learn, right? That's what we're looking for. And let's see. I see some traffic. Severe traffic alert because of a vehicle fire on 880 southbound exiting at the Hagenberger Road in Oakland. Watch out for that. And even yesterday, we actually gave you information about a fire which is in San Francisco, but actually it is towards the Oakland area. And speaking of Oakland, there also is 80 ke upar. There actually is on the Bay Bridge, basically. There's a fog advisory there, so watch out for that. And drive very carefully in those places. Lanes seem to be affected because people are really going slow in that region. Bay Bridge sometimes is very, very difficult to navigate if at all you're going at high speed and everything. Be careful on that. Speaking of fog, even Golden Gate Bridge has been advised to be cautious driving because of the fog. I don't see any incidents of accidents anywhere else, but in Jan, so it's a good day. Thursday is a good day because tomorrow's Friday.
Friday. That's right, Banajan. And anywhere on your Facebook pages, you guys can actually go and see there is voting information centers. There is information that is mentioned about how you can, which centers you need to go to and what you need to do.
We also post that information for you on our news blog for sure. But let's go see what's happening with the headlines for today. Fadani, what do you have headlines today?
Well, Altababa, the first headline that we have is Trump questioning if 2020 presidential results can ever be accurate.
I totally agree with him.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Twitter slaps a warning label on a Trump tweet.
Oh, wow.
NIH, the National Institute of Health, launches the trial of the Rigel drug for severe COVID-19. In U.S. ally Bahrain, Israel deal rallies a weakened opposition. And then Alexei Navalny, you remember the Russian Putin critic? Well, the Navalny team says that the nerve agent was actually found on the hotel room water bottle that Navalny drank from. New York City again delays in-person learning at public schools, and Governor Cuomo said but they will be opening up for the special needs children and the vulnerable children. They will be opening up apparently, but for the rest of them, they're still going to be on distance learning. Stocks buckle, dollar slips as investors mull Fed action. Facebook says it'll no longer show health groups in recommendations. ByteDance's bid to keep most of TikTok faces major hurdles at this point. Sony PlayStation 5 is going to be launching in November, priced at about $499 and also $399. News from India, a Pulwama-style attack was averted in Jammu and Kashmir with the recovery of 52 kgs of explosives, according to army officials. And Indian government is saying that based on a new map that Pakistan released, which Imran Khan himself released, Prime Minister. So they're saying that we reject Islamabad's obsession with territorial aggrandisement. And finally, speaking of Pakistan, the Indian who has been held in Pakistan, right, on conspiracy or espionage charges, which is Kulbhushan Jadhav, there has been a lot of talk, and also suddenly people have stopped talking about the case.
Why?
But right now, his trial is coming up, and he could be sentenced to death. But what India is saying, and the Ministry of External Affairs is saying, is that either an Indian lawyer or Queen's Counsel must represent the Kulbhushan Jadhav case.
Why would a Queen's Counsel go there?
Well, we'll talk a little bit more. I don't know what the Queen's Counsel exactly is, but the news article delves into it deeper.
Shows actually there's still that colonial connection over there, Badhujan. We'll talk about that, but abhi ke liye, let's go into a song. And of course, we started off the show wishing Narendra Modi ji a very, very happy birthday.
Yeah.
Unka ek biopic tha jo chala nahi. Vivek Oberoi ki wajah se. Vivek Oberoi will blame not on his talent but on his rival in industry. And that is Salman Khan. He'll say because of him the movie didn't do well.
Oh.
But this is a nice song, Bhajan, a very energetic song for you from the movie PM Narendra Modi.
नमो 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 गूंजेगा ये देश में नमो 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 न कोई भी होगा रेस में 56 इंच की छाती और सोच खुराफाती अकेले बंदे ने है देखो दुनिया हिलाती अलग है इसके बेहतर है ये झुकता ना शराबी करता ऐसे काम सोती आंखें है जगाती पहले दिन से ऐसी सोच लेके चलता था ये रोज बदलेगा ये भारत बेमिसाल बंदा बन के जोश इतना ज्यादा इसमें खून खोलेगा सभी का सिखा देगा ये दुनिया को भारत का तरीका सपने भी है नीले चल थोड़ा सा जी ले आँखों पे कोरे क्यों गीले सपने भी है नीले चल थोड़ा सा जी ले आँखों पे कोरे क्यों गीले आने छो आगे बढ़ता बिना डर के आने छो सारे रहते हैं संभल के आने छो आगे बढ़ता बिना डर के आने छो सारे रहते हैं संभल के गुजरात नो शेर આવ્યો ધૂળ બગા કે સફેર લા મિસાલે કેવી છે ચાની સાથે દેશ લા પાછળ કોઈ વાર ના ફર્યો પાછળ કોઈ વાર ના જોયો ભાઈ તે કરી લઈએ જે પણ જોઈને રોંગ ધોયો સમજના खुद को ज्यादा कभी पर नहीं किसी से है काम चलता है आंखों में लेके ये सपना भारत को नंबर 1 इसकी बात में दिखता सारा सच्ची रात में दिखता दम तभी तो 100 करोड़ की आबादी चलेगी इसके साथ सपने भी है नीले चल थोड़ा सा जी ले आंखों पे कोरे क्यों गीले आगे बढ़ता बिना डर के सारे जो सारे रहते हैं संभल के चले जो आगे बढ़ता बिना डर के आगे जो सारे रहते हैं संभल के नमो 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 गूंजेगा ये देश में
Namo, 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 namo. And of course, happy birthday to Namoji, this is Narendra Modi ji. And of course, let me tell you, ये गाना जो है ना, not very famous because they not actually do much thing. Movie actually just came in and only propaganda movie बन गया था because the election time, remember Jan, that's when it came out. But actually no, it came out in last year, right?
Which one? Namo Namo? Yeah.
Last year was election time for India, right?
Yeah. Was
Correct.
it 2019?
Yeah, election time. They actually got him a second term. Very good, wonderful. But I wouldn't attribute the second term for this movie. No. This movie is not at all a movie which I would watch also because of the fact that Vivek Oberoi is there in this. Nothing else. Well, the point is Vivek Oberoi ka ye dekha jaye to it also is nepotism because he's actually father's one promoting all these things, right? Suresh Oberoi. Well, Bacha, let me tell you, ye gala jo hai was interesting because new artists. What happened, Faltani? Why are you laughing?
Nothing. I was just reading up on a news item. Go ahead.
Oh, must be about a tweet from.
No.
Okay,
No.
this song, of course, singer was Sandeep Singh.
Sring.
Singh.
Okay.
Because he used double S in the sing.
Oh, वो numerology के लिए रहेगा रे.
Whatever. Rap was by Pariji. Right? Lyrics, of course, were Pariji and Lavraj. Very interesting, new people. And of course, this particular person who made the music for this particular song is a very tasty name, actually. Hitesh Modak.
What?
Hitesh Modak.
Oh, nice. Okay. Is this movie never really?
It released.
It did?
It released, but actually it was.
Is it on any of the OTT platforms?
I have no idea.
I should probably.
It'll be on BJP platform for sure.
I don't know.
Available for free download. BJP platform. Go check it out.
Yeah.
It's totally a propaganda movie, but anyways, I was too early
But
for
happy birthday, Modi ji. Just wanted to tell you that.
Our fellow Virgo, obviously. Virgo dudes
I
are
tagged
awesome.
him in this post also. I was like, okay, chalo theek hai.
What, tagged him also?
I tagged him.
Hey, come on. He actually listens to our show, Faltwani.
Huh?
Yeah, he also. Hey, come on. Everybody requests some kind
I
of.
know that Vijay Chautewala ji was on, some of the
Yes.
top-notch officials were on the show.
I don't want to say top-notch officials. I just want to say the people who actually care about the world listen to our show. Period.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or at least हमारा वो मानना है. What's the big deal, right?
Yeah, of
Always
course.
positive thinking.
Yeah, and of course, Vidyasagar ji, show start होते ही हमने wish कर दिया था उनको, and उनके लिए dedicated song भी लगा दिया.
Exactly.
And right now, Baja, let's go see what's happening in the news in detail because I know, just like me, even you are utsuk.
Yeah.
You know what's happening around our world, Bajan, especially with all these things happening with Trump and all. My goodness.
You know, Altu Baba?
Yeah.
The
I know
reason
Altu
I
Baba.
laughed at that time is because people will go to any extent to social distance, right? So there's apparently a bus passenger who social distanced by using a live snake as a face mask.
Live snake is.
I was like, oh my god, what is wrong with these people? Seriously. But you bet people were social distancing from him.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Oh god. All the way into another bus, actually.
Didn't the whole virus come because of a snake only?
What?
No, wasn't that because
It
of
was a bat or something, right?
Oh, bat. Okay, the
Yeah.
bat which ate a snake.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Never mind,
that's
thank
fine.
you.
That's fine. I'm not going to go deeper into it. I don't want to get people in the morning go and all stuff.
Yeah.
But that father, why did he share the story first of all? What was it?
Because
What was the
it
idea?
just popped up on my feed.
No.
So I was like, oh
You
god.
cannot do that, Father. On air on a morning, Thursday morning, you cannot do that. You can't just say something popped up, I'm going to talk about it. There should be some ulterior motive behind it. What was the motive?
There is no ulterior motive. I'm just saying that you can physically distance Banjan, but you don't have to go to this extent. Wear a mask, a decent mask.
Okay, you're trying to say that, okay, you can actually physically distance, but you have limits for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Fine.
we're
I'll
all
take-
waiting for a coronavirus vaccine, right?
I'm
but,
not.
You're not?
No.
Why?
I don't think it's going to. Our Supreme Leader has told it's just going to disappear.
Okay, stop with the Supreme Leader.
Arey, Trump is
baloney.
Supreme Leader. Come on, yaar. Come on. He's going to take our world, our democracy, and make it a aristocracy.
Excuse me, that is not an aristocracy, it's an autocracy.
Same difference, right?
Autocrat. How do you say it? He's an autocrat.
Yeah, he's
the
an autocrat. He's an
autocracy.
autopilot always. He's an
Oh
autocrat.
god, no.
Yeah, Supreme Leader. Hail.
Altu Baba,
Yes.
stop!
What? There's so many people out there. I just learned about a new group called ACT.
ACT.
which actually which Trump actually is a big member of that particular group.
I don't know if he's a member, but he definitely has retweeted and he supports them too.
But, doesn't mean he. Okay.
It's
so,
don't talk about ACT because that's the largest anti-Muslim hate group
I
in
know.
the United States.
I know that, sorry,
it's,
but he
it's
supports it.
terrible how they actually.
Dude,
never
he
mind.
supports it means he's like, he's got the guts to say, I'm going to be racist. What are you
Okay,
going to do
never
about
mind. Let's talk about the coronavirus and not those kind of viruses, Altu Baba.
it? Okay, fine.
Yeah, so Dr. Robert Redfield, the director of the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, says that even if a vaccine was released now, it would take about 6 to 9 months for enough people to receive it to create immunity. In the meantime, Redfield says masks may work even better than a vaccine. For when a vaccine arrives, rich nations including the United States, Britain and Japan have already bought up more than half the expected supply. That's about 51% of available vaccines for about 13% of the world's population. Meanwhile, some local leaders are enacting actually unusual punishments for people who don't abide by health policies. In parts of rural Indonesia, people caught without masks must dig graves for COVID-19 victims, apparently. And the governor...
Wearing masks without masks.
If they don't wear a mask, they're supposed to dig...
They're supposed to dig with mask, without masks.
I don't know. The governor of
If it's without mask, it'll be digging for their grave for themselves. Also, an extra grave. With mask, probably only for the person.
Why don't you find out, Altibaba, and
probably.
report on that?
Yes, I will.
The governor of one Philippine province is asking people to report loud karaoke singers who disturb people's sleep during curfew hours, apparently.
Oh, who's doing that? Where is this?
This is the governor of one Filipino province. Because karaoke
Philippine
is huge.
karaoke is part of the culture.
Yeah, exactly. So that's something with regard to the coronavirus. But let's go on over and talk a little bit about our very own dear President Trump.
I was referring to a vaccine for this kind of viruses.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
I'm not interested about the coronavirus.
अरे यार इसके लिए हमें इम्यूनिटी नहीं होना चाहिए इसको निकाल उखाड़ के फेंक देना चाहिए. It's not viruses which are like causing hate and venom and all that stuff. That has to go cut off.
But I also want to tell you one thing. People don't know about this. I read about vaccines and why the FDA takes a long time for any vaccines to come out.
Right.
This is actually super speed, by the way. If people didn't know about that, this is like supernova speed, actually.
Yeah.
They're trying to approve this thing because vaccines actually have side effects.
Huh.
And one of the side effects we shared with you guys in the news yesterday.
Huh.
It was about the side effects of a spinal infection.
It was it caused some spinal cord injury, Bandajan. In fact, degeneration in one of the people who has been tested. Has been administered the vaccine.
So even a 1.1% probability is a very dangerous probability. So that's why they got to be very careful when they dispense the vaccine. And of course, there will be people who are vaxxers and non-vaxxers also, by the way.
Correct.
I'm not talking about the legs. I'm talking about vaccination.
Well, there's always it's a trial and error, right? That's why they're saying don't rush into it because it's going to take time for us to even determine if this is going to work or not.
Instead, build immune system.
Yes, build your immunity, Banjan. And good morning, Deepak ji. Nice to see you joining us. Rita Bantia ji, also nice to see you joining us on Facebook. And no worries, Vidyasagar ji. He says, what if the snake killed the man himself?
There you go. Na
That's
dega
a
pass,
risky
na
thing.
bajegi basuri.
Well, anyway, उसके बारे में बात करते हुए US President Donald Trump escalated his unfounded attacks on mail-in voting on Thursday, suggesting the result of the 2020 presidential race could never be accurately determined in a Twitter post that would undermine the legitimacy of any winner. That's what he said. Trump, lagging his Democratic challenger Joe Biden in public opinion polls, has continued to make unsubstantiated attacks on voting by mail as vulnerable to fraud as state officials embrace it as an alternative to in-person balloting during the coronavirus pandemic. Election experts who have studied decades of US elections say fraud is rare. And because of the new and unprecedented massive amounts of unsolicited ballots which will be sent to voters or wherever this year, the November 3rd election results may never be accurately determined, which is what some want. Another election disaster yesterday.
Okay.
Stop ballot madness.
So I'll tell you one thing, whatever she said actually is a quote, right?
Yes.
It's a quote. It's not something which is a opinion what we share. So the reason why we actually, Media Burning Farm blog, we provide links for you guys to go read up about the story in detail because we want to make sure we give the right sources, right? And of course, please double check whether the source is liberal or whether it's conservative.
Yeah.
You see how the conservative actually will word it? Unfounded, as in something like, something out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
But the specialists will say, oh, it's very rare. So the words they use are very...
Do you know what unfounded actually means?
I know.
It's not backed up, right?
I know, the words you use, right?
Yeah.
So rare is what backed up, is it?
Huh?
When they say that the fraud is rare, it means fraud can happen, right?
No. fraud is, yeah, it can happen.
So that's all. Faldo, I'm just trying to say that people should do some critical thinking. Don't just read the things and just go, Basak about it, think about it, and analyze and then decide. But definitely November 3rd, go and vote. Doesn't matter who you pick. Just go vote.
Regardless, whether there's fraud or not, whether there's hacking or not,
But
whatever
anyway, election is going to be a
happens or
wash because it will come back and he'll go and take over the whole nation.
Yesterday was
He already has put his militia in place. He's actually pumping them up totally. So even if the election goes towards the Democrats, I'm sure Trump is going to make sure he'll invalidate the whole elections. And he'll say coronavirus. No, 2020, they were out of my whole thing. 2021 will be the day we do elections.
Right. So, Batajan, I guess that's all we have time for on this morning's Good Morning Pay. I guess we'll bring you the new detailed news stories on, of course, our Media Mahima blog. Just wanted to quickly let you know that this particular tweet that Trump tweeted out yesterday, Twitter has slapped on a warning label and has said that his post included potentially misleading information regarding the process of mail-in voting.
Can they suspend his account till November 3rd?
I don't know. I think they, no. That's freedom of speech. You can't suspend anybody's account.
Yeah, they do it to people. Common man, they do it. But not
They
the
do?
president. Yeah.
What?
Oh, yes, people get suspended. Accounts get suspended.
Wow. Well, anyway, Batajan, you can catch up on this and all the other news stories on MediaMahima.com that we just shared with regard to what's happening with the Pakistan map that they've been saying, and also the Kulbhushan Jadhav case, and also with regard to ByteDance wanting to retain most of TikTok. You can find out more about all of that on MediaMahima.com. Abhi hame ijazat dijiye. We'll be back tonight live at 5 on the Pam Pam Show. Till then, have yourselves a safe, healthy, happy, terrific Thursday.
आगे बढ़ता बिना डर के आने जो सारे रहते हैं संभल के गुजरात को शेर आव्यो धूल बगा के सफेद